How often do you start a podcast episode and you don't finish it? For me, this happens all the time. I'm running around. I wasn't that invested. My mind was on something else. The host is yapping too much or can't find the point, or I can't find the point, and it's lost in the abyss of podcast episodes never to be listened to again. Which is sad, right? Because if you're anything like me, you're putting just as much effort, if not more, into the end of the episode than the beginning because you're finally getting to the complete point. This episode is all about how to keep listeners listening, how to structure and deliver a podcast episode that keeps your audience's attention until the end of the episode, and how to find and evaluate your own personal episode retention numbers. Hello and welcome to Podcast for Profit. My name is Morgan Franklin. I'm a podcast producer, strategist, and educator. This podcast will help you create and grow a podcast that cuts through the noise of social media and speaks directly to your target audience. If you're ready to create a podcast that will align you with the experts in your industry, position yourself as a trusted leader, and create another source of revenue for your business, you're in the right place. You have to think of every episode you publish as a first impression for your future audience. Scientists say that we have roughly 7 seconds to make a first impression on someone when we meet them for the first time. And while this may take a little bit of extra effort on your part, carefully crafting the opening of your podcast is critical to the listener experience for the entire episode. Because if someone doesn't like the beginning of your episode, they're probably never going to make it to the middle and definitely not the end. And they might never come back to your podcast. So I'm going to be honest with you. Until about a year ago, even as a professional podcast producer, I didn't think about retention rates that much or put that much value into them. I figured if somebody didn't like an episode, oh well, that episode wasn't for them. Why should I care if only 35% of my audience finished this episode? But when I really started to take a look at the bigger picture and look at these numbers, it was telling me a much more important story about the structure and content of my episodes that I needed to pay attention to. And you do too. No matter what kind of format or genre or length that your podcast is, setting the expectations for each episode is so important. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Time is our most valuable commodity. It's the one thing that we can't get back. And when people are choosing to spend their time on something, they want to know their investment is going to get a return. They want to know if they're taking the time to listen to your podcast, they're going to be getting something out of it. And this could be so many things, right? It could be entertainment or inspiration or encouragement or advice. It could be how to do something or listening to a story that takes their mind off of everything that's going on in their life. There are literally infinite numbers of reasons that bring us to a podcast episode. But normally, it's always under the pretense that that episode is going to deliver what it told us it would. In my opinion, this is why purposefully naming your episodes and taking the time to highlight what that episode will cover is probably the most effective way to get your audience to listen to the entire episode before they even click play. Let me just tell you what I do. I use Otter AI, which is a program that you can upload your finished podcast file to. From there, it will transcribe it, and you can click on any part of the transcription, and it'll tell you what the timestamp is. So after I've done that, I'll go through the episode, and I'll pull some of the most important topics and pull the timestamp for when I start talking about that topic. I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but you can actually see it in this episode description. And that's just so that my listeners can quickly skim through an episode if they need to. I'm not under the illusion that every single person can listen to every single episode, but I think it is respectful of our listeners' time and also the longevity of them listening and getting to the end of episodes if we can tell them as the podcast host or producer, hey, this is where you can start on this episode. And that way you're not only telling them the value that's going to come from this episode, but you're also telling them how you've organized it throughout the show. A good podcast is always trying to build trust with its audience. So by taking a moment to clearly tell your listeners what the episode is about, you're making a promise of value and then you're immediately delivering on it. You're building your audience and retaining the attention for that episode. If you're trying to grow a podcast, and I know you are, you would not be listening to this episode, make it a fair playing ground for new and existing listeners. I'm not saying that you can't have inside jokes or reference to other episodes, but you need to have a structure that leads new listeners into the conversation and being part of the community. Because if you're a listener and you don't know what's going on, or you're hearing all these references to something that you don't know anything about, you're not going to stick around and you're probably not going to come back to listen to another episode. And on this same note, the same thing goes for just casually bringing up spouses and children and pets and friends and other familiars to the podcast. I hear this all the time, and it is, oh gosh, it's so hard. It's hard to listen to as a producer because you think, oh my gosh, nobody knows what they're talking about. So let's just have this example. If all the time on your podcast you talk about your business partner, Alex, every single episode you bring him up, but he isn't a host or part of the show, and if new listeners came, they would have no idea who that is. Just make it a point that at the first time you reference him in every podcast episode, say my business partner at XYZ company, Alex. And then from that point on, you can just call him Alex. As a listener, and I know that you know this too, it just brings you out of the listening experience so much when somebody's just bringing up a name that you have no idea who that is. So this is just your friendly reminder when you're casually bringing up your wife, Gloria, and you just say, so when Gloria and I went XYZ, and your listener are thinking, who is Gloria? They don't even know that you're married. Go ahead and just quickly introduce this person every time you bring them up in a new episode. Well, my wife and I, Gloria, went to XYZ, and that will fix that problem so easily, and it will make it so much more welcoming for new listeners to listen to your show and to retain them as part of your community. We want our listeners to feel like they're part of the conversation, right? Which is going to lead me into my next point, talking to your audience. Do not talk at them. If there's one thing that you take away from this episode, and I know this might not be the most strategic advice ever, but it's how important it is for you to make a connection with your audience. Speak to them. Speak as if you are speaking to one person, because 90% of the time, you're not talking to a big group of ambiguous people. You are talking to one person who's on a walk or doing dishes or driving home. So if you make that small change to speak directly to one person instead of a generic, just big group of people, that will make such a huge difference in how your listeners are connecting with you as the host and feeling like they're part of the community through the show. And these little things are really what adds up to someone listening to an entire episode. So now that we know how to talk to our audience, let's get back to setting the right expectations. Your podcast needs some kind of structure. Even if that structure is just that for 1 hour, you're going to brain dump about a specific topic, people need to know what to expect. I promise you are not doing yourself any favors by mixing up the way you present your episodes. And I know this is going to come in hot for some people because as a podcast producer, I hear this all the time and it kind of drives me nuts. Podcasters just want to mix things up because they think that their audience is getting bored with what they're doing. I promise you, your audience isn't bored. They're learning what to expect and deciding whether they want to come back or not. Think about SNL, Saturday Night Live, and whether you like the show or not, that's totally okay. We're just talking about the layout of the show itself. So we start with a cold open or a relevant topic to draw us all in and kind of let us all be part of the conversation. And I think that this is so powerful just because, it's usually something that is about politics or something that's going on in the mainstream news of America. And so when we all sit down to watch this show, from the very beginning, it's giving us all something to talk about and making us feel connected with the show because that's what's also going on in our life. Then we have a monologue from the host so that we can kind of build familiarity with them. Either if we know them, we can learn a little bit more about them, or if we don't know them, we can kind of meet them where they are. Then from there, we'll do about 5-ish sketches with a musical performance. In the middle, they'll have a news break for Weekend Update. Then we'll do 4-ish more sketches, another musical performance, and a closing remark. That's it. Y'all, that's it for 50 years. They're celebrating 50 seasons on TV this year. And clearly, this episode structure works. It creates a wildly different episode every week, but the structure itself is always there. And as a podcaster, that's what I want you to be thinking about for the retention of your episodes. How can you create an episode structure that is going to guide the audience on what to expect and give the listeners really the structure that we crave as consumers consuming content? And especially consumers that are consuming content from beginning to end. Listeners don't want surprises. They want consistency. They want to know what to expect and when to expect it. Let me just give you a quick example that's outside of the podcasting realm, but I think really proves this point of consistency. Think about all the TikTokers. I'm just going to call out Alex Earl right now because I think she does a really great job of this. And again, whether you like it or not, it's totally fine, but she does a great job of having that consistent structure of the get ready with me. So she'll say, get ready to go to blank with me. And she's telling you a story about the place. She's telling you what she's doing. Then later, she will take you through where she's going. She does the same structure every single time. She knows exactly what she's doing, and the audience loves it because they know what to expect. You do not have to always be mixing up your podcast. People want to know what to expect from you, and there is so much power in that if you can stick with it. So how do we provide that consistency that will keep a listener listening until the end of an episode? Create a full circle with your content. Tell people what you're going to give them and then give it to them. For example, at the beginning of this episode, I introduced the topic with a short anecdote about my own listening habits. I talked about how as podcasters, we all want people to listen to our episode all the way through. Then I told you what we were going to talk about. And it really doesn't have to be that difficult. Most of the time, we're recording podcast episodes, we know what the main points of the episode are going to be and that we're going to cover. So just take a moment before you get into the episodes to reiterate what your listener can expect from you. What are those main 3 points that you're going to cover? Give them the confidence and reinforce their interest by telling them what they're going to get out of the episode. While you're breaking down the key points of this episode, this is a great place to insert your credibility for the topic. Either if it's something that you've gone through personally or you've experienced or you're hosting a guest, why they're relevant to the topic. Even why you picked the topic. It can be that easy. You can tell the audience why you're talking about what you're talking about and how you thought it'd be impactful for them. That is so easy, but it goes a long way with the listener and how long they're going to stick around in the episode. This is another reason why I really disagree with podcasts that open with just kind of like an aimless chit chat or housekeeping before their episode even starts. Unless your entire episode is aimless chit chat, in which case, honey, that's the content and good on you. I get that you want to warm up and you want to get the conversation going in an organic way, especially with guests. But that needs to be done off air. I can't tell you how many times I've not finished an episode and unsubscribed from a podcast with a bad introduction or that never really seemed to get started or had no structure. No one wants to listen to it. Also, I don't want to harp on this too long, but just having good, evenly produced audio that's being cleaned up even a little bit for the listener. It doesn't have to sound like it was produced by NPR. But you can still give a quick scan through and cut out any major silences or dead spaces or places where you messed up because your listeners deserve the best. And if you are not giving them the best that you personally can, they are going to find someone who will. My final piece of advice is to take your time and save a little something for the end. Try to sprinkle in some juicy tidbits throughout the episode, but also tease that there's something you'll talk about in the end of the episode, or say something like, when we get to blank, to build a little bit of suspense for what you're talking about. Don't give away the farm in the beginning. Take your time. Tell stories. Practice telling stories in your everyday life. Fully explain your point and give your perspective behind it. If somebody is listening to your podcast, it is because they like you. They like the content you produce. And it is okay to give them more of you. It's okay to make them wait for it. If a listener wanted a listicle, they'd look it up on Google. For example, I know that you could have easily Googled how to retain listeners on your podcast episode and scan through a 2-minute article that tells you roughly the same information I'm telling you right now. You are the reason people come back to your podcast. There are an infinite number of places to get information, especially online, or to be entertained, or to be inspired, or to get any of the things that we get from podcasts. So you have to remember your listener is coming back for you. You are the secret ingredient. If you've listened to this entire episode and you're thinking, Morgan, I don't even know how to look at my episode retention. I don't even know what episode retention is. Your episode retention is how long the average number of listeners make it throughout the episode. So let's say you have one episode and the retention is 75%. That means that your listeners made it on average 75% of the way through. So that could mean that 2 people made it 50% of the way through and 2 people made it 100% of the way through. The average would be 75. How you're going to look at this is you're going to go on Spotify for Podcasters and Apple Podcast Connect. Your podcast hosting might have some information about this, but personally, mine does not. I'm currently with Buzzsprout, and they do not have any kind of episode retention analytics. So I go into Spotify for Podcasters or Apple Podcast Connect. If you've never gone on these before, you'll go ahead and go on and claim your podcast, and that is how you will look at your analytics. They're both set up differently. I want to say that from the front, but pretty much you can click through and find your individual episodes, and then it will show you a graph of where people are listening, where they're dropping off, what the percentage of your retention rate is, and generally how long people are listening to your episodes. One note, if you have someone that produces your podcast for you and you have never been on Apple Podcast Connect before, this could be because all of their shows are under one network, and you will need to talk with your producer specifically to get this information. So if you've never been on Apple Podcast Connect and someone else is doing your podcast, go ahead and just send them a quick email or give them a call and say, hey, I just want to look at the retention rates for my episode. If you get into looking at this and you notice almost all of your listeners are dropping off before they're even halfway through the episode, this is something that you need to look into. I'd start by looking at where the drop-off is in your episodes. Is there a specific time or something that's happening when people are dropping off? Is there maybe a value that you've promised to the listener that just wasn't fulfilled by that point? On average, for me personally, I want to see that my podcast episodes, especially the solo ones, are reaching at least 75 to 80% consumption. For interviews, I know this can be a little bit trickier. I run several podcasts that have interviews. It just depends when you have a wide variety of guests. But I think anywhere around 50%, I would feel pretty satisfied with, especially if this show is only interviews. Because I truly believe people come for the guest, but they stay for the host. And it's a little bit more complicated to judge what these retention rates are when you have different guests every week. But as always, we want people to be listening to at least half of our show. And if people aren't listening to at least half of it, we need to start kind of looking internally and see what's going on. The most important information that we can get from the listener retention of our podcast is this. Are we making content worth consuming? And if that retention number is low, the answer is either no, or you haven't organized it in a way that people want to listen to. Luckily, listener retention can be improved. If you're listening to this and you're feeling down and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, Morgan, my retention rates are so bad. Maybe they're 10 or 20%. Don't worry, I've been there. I want to encourage you by reminding you this is one of the easiest ways you can measure and work on your podcast internally to grow a larger audience. Podcasting is a journey, and it's a journey of growth and development. No one is born knowing how to make a podcast or how to do anything for that matter. We're all just learning along the way. And what a privilege that is. And what a privilege it is for you to have a podcast where you can share your stories and your outlook on the world. You're doing a great job. If you're willing to learn and if you're willing to put in the effort, you will improve. And as always, I can't wait to listen to your podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed the podcast and you'd like to hear more episodes like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the show. New episodes air every Monday morning. And if you found this episode valuable and you want to help other business owners and podcasters, will you leave me a 5-star review? It helps the show rank higher in the charts and brings more entrepreneurs the information they need to start making money on their podcast.